Guys, finally he sleeps here. We're back again with another episode of Cringeworthy. Tonight's episode is going to be more the same. What we do here is it's normally just an excuse for me to drink and make fun of YouTube videos on a Thursday night. And we troll the shit out of whatever creepy stuff we can find on YouTube. And tonight is no exception. The video is called, it's not Are You Being Creepy? It's Why You Should Stop Worrying About Creeping Women Out. So there's the title at the bottom. But come on, look at that thumbnail. I mean, this shit pops up in my search. You know, my search history has got to be fucked at this point from doing these videos for the last few months. But when that pops up, you know we're going to watch it. So that's tonight's video. It comes from the channel Reconnected, Dating with Integrity. That's the thumbnail. Dating with Integrity. Anyway, that's the video. So let's get into it and see.
What up, creepy guys? I'm Nick Notice, and today I'm going to be talking about how to be extra creepy with women. I'm just kidding.
That's not even that funny. It's not that funny.
What I'm actually talking about is why you don't need to worry that much about being creepy with women. Because for 13 years, this is probably one of the things that guys most come to me for is, Nick, hey, I'm interested in this girl, or I see a woman I want to talk to, and I want to make some kind of move, but I don't want her to think I'm creepy.
So for 13 years, people have been coming to him with those questions? I don't know. Definitely not the guy I would consider the guru for how to talk to women.
Now, the problem is, to even worry about being creepy, you need to understand what that means and what it doesn't. And a lot of men have it completely wrong. So let me explain. The feeling of being creeped out is really just a sensation that we don't control when we feel discomfort or disgust from another person.
So far, I'm in agreement. But that's definitely not what you're supposed to be going for. And he's so nonchalant too. Like, you know, being creeped out is just when we feel discomfort or disgust from another person. Yeah. Like when you're on the subway and the homeless guy next to you starts clipping his toenails, or when you're on a date and she confesses that she has an earwax fetish, or when you bite into a chocolate chip cookie and, you know, you find out it's full of raisins because some people are psychopaths.
Okay, and largely it is subjective.
There's nothing subjective about raisins and cookies. Only a monster does that.
It is subjective. So if we're attracted to somebody, then their attention or their advances can feel also quite desirable. And if we're not attracted to them, those same actions can be interpreted through a much more negative lens in our mind. Even if the person didn't do anything wrong or didn't do anything actually uncomfortable or disgusting. That's the problem.
So I think what he's trying to say is, if the girl in line right in front of you at the ATM thinks you're kind of cute, she may not introduce her knee to your balls for leaning in and sniffing her hair. I mean, you're in line, you're getting $20 out to buy another bottle of wild turkey, and as long as she thinks you're cute, sniff away. But if the girl heading into the bank is not at all into you, you could probably end up with a face full of pepper spray just for holding the door open for her, because she decides she needs to go into the bank to talk to a teller because there's some weird dude outside by the ATM sniffing women's hair. I think it all makes total sense. It's subjective.
When you see a woman across an event and you want to go talk to her and you're like, oh, what if she thinks I'm creepy? You have no control over that.
What if she thinks I'm creepy? Other than maybe you're doing something creepy. So yeah, you kind of do have control over all of that. God.
over that. If you walk up and she off the bat just is in a good mood and has a good vibe from you and feels even physically attracted to you on a level, then it will probably be interpreted positively. If she's in a bad mood or she's a very judgmental person or she's unattracted to you in those moments, then that same idea of you walking up may not be desirable.
There's probably a lot of reasons that you walking up to someone could be conceived as creepy. Like unflinching eye contact. Or when someone walks with their hands in line with their legs. Have you ever seen that? It's messed up. It's subtle. So you can't figure out what's wrong. It's like missing eyebrows. You know, something's wrong. You know it in your gut, but you just can't put your finger on it. Or you walk over there while you're licking each of your fingers. Or rubbing your nipples. Or better yet, you're sniffing your fingers. My point is, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things you do have control over in this situation that would most definitely creep most people out. Not just women, like people in general, or animals. I mean, you walk up to a dog with unblinking eye contact, sniffing your fingers and rubbing your nipples. As soon as Fido notices you're missing some eyebrows, your ass is getting bit. Just saying.
The answer is, what do you want from this situation? If you find this person attractive or you'd want to get to know them, then you should take that shot. And whatever happens at that point is something that unfortunately you have to endure. So the truth is, it's never going to be the horrible experience that you imagine in your mind.
Never, really. I'm pretty sure most of the time, if you're expecting a horrible experience walking up to a woman, assuming she's going to think you're creepy, it's probably because it's happened before. In which case, you're probably a creepy kind of guy. And this video probably isn't helping a whole lot at all.
If you walk up as a normal person and introduce yourself and they're not interested, okay, maybe they're like, oh, I don't want this attention, but they're generally not going to hate you for it and they're not going to like make a big stink out of it. Like, just think for yourself. If a woman that you were not attracted to came over and was obviously interested in you, would you suddenly like hate her as a person or feel largely disgusted? Probably not.
Probably not. But for a completely different reason. It's because guys we're wired to bang just about anything. I mean, if you take 9 average guys out of 10, put them on a deserted island and give them a box full of raw liver, he's eventually going to get bored enough to cut a hole in that box and make his way to third base. Not because he's a disgusting human being, but because he's just a guy and he's much closer to his caveman roots. You know, more so than women are. Women are evolved. That's what I'm saying. Trying to say is women are evolved. Men watch videos titled "Stop Worrying About Creeping Women Out."
And honestly, if somebody's that adverse to a human walking up to them and just showing that they want to get to know them, and they're really judgmental about it, it often says a lot more about them than about you.
I am 100% sure the last girl who turned him down at a party, he just called her a judgy bitch.
And here's the irony. The men who tell me most often that they're worried about being creepy are not the ones who are almost ever going to be creepy.
I have to do this because I cannot stop staring at this dude's eyebrows. I know I was joking about people without eyebrows earlier. You know, you're missing eyebrows and how that bothers me, but this is almost just as bad. This is next level. I mean, this is some... I think he mascaras his eyebrows. I'm not. Maybe just call. I might be a judgy bitch. But those are thick. Those are thick.
Creepy. They're not going to do anything that is really too forward or bold or disgusting that's going to largely upset a woman.
You know, like bring a box of liver to a date. Jesus.
None. Okay, now of course, there are a few things that people can do that are actually creepy.
A few? I think there's more than a few. We just went over a few of them. I'm hoping he mentions the hair sniffing and the finger sniffing and any kind of sniffing really. Sniffing. I mean, don't sniff anything. That should be rule number one. Number one, no sniffing. Rule number two, leave your eyebrows alone. Rule number three, there is such a thing as too much eye contact. Rule number four, never mention your box of liver.
Now, of course, there are a few things that people can do that are actually creepy. And these are the things that you should worry about. Not just walking over and taking a shot and worried if, like, you being a normal person trying to see if somebody wants to connect is creepy, but rather these two things that I think are really, really not great to do with people. And one is if you are way too sexual and overtly sexual off the bat.
Way too sexual. As in, a little sexual is okay. Just as long as it's not way too sexual. What's way too sexual? Have you seen my box of liver? Honestly, I have no idea where the whole box of liver thing came from. I don't know. I think I've creeped myself out trying to figure out where that idea came from. The idea of a box of liver. Yep. I creeped myself out. Rule number two, better be the no sniffing thing. That's all I'm saying.
The other thing that I think is actually creepy is when somebody sets a boundary. So maybe you go to like flirt with a woman on a date or create some physical contact or go for a kiss and she tells you, hey, I'm not really feeling it right now, or I don't usually do this on a first date. And you ignore that boundary and you keep pushing forward or you keep trying. That is creepy because the person is saying, hey, I don't want this type of attention or I'm not ready for this. And you are basically saying, I don't care. I'm going to get what I want. And that's sending off like signals that this is actually somebody who is dangerous and intentionally creepy, and maybe we should protect ourselves from.
Basically, the guys who watch videos from the other channel that we've watched a bunch over the last couple of months, Far From Average, where he's always talking about alpha males and Spartans with no nipples and chicken Alfredo, whether the waitress likes it or not. Definitely crossing some boundaries over there. Another week of Cringeworthy in the books. On across the range of things, this one wasn't the worst. It was bad. They're all bad, but this one wasn't the worst. I think next week we're gonna have to find something that's way over the top, like really, really, really bad. So that's my homework for this week is to basically just fuck my search history over even worse and find the most cringy self-help video I can find. If you've got any ideas, post them in the comments. All right, thanks a lot for hanging out. That's where we're gonna end it this week. As long as you guys keep watching, I'll keep making videos. He's eventually going to get bored enough to cut a hole in that box and make his way to third base.